Hello everybody, welcome to Let's Build a Blank. Today we're going to be building a wizard for an upcoming game I'm going to. Um, we start at level 3 and we were told to do a stat roll. So I'm going to roll 4 dice, drop the lowest number 6 times, and then we'll start from there. So first up, oh man, I got a 9. I'm just going to type them in the personality so I don't forget them. And then I rolled a 11 and an 11 again. A 7. Ooh, nice. 15. And last but not least, a 14. Alright, not too bad. I was getting a little scared there. Alright, so I was thinking that we would be a wizard. I know that, level 3. And I was thinking human, just because I love getting that feat early on. Alright, so how I like to do things is I like to start with the background. So let me just get to the background. And I was thinking for this character he'd be some sort of wizard who went to a academy or something. And what he learned there was he was a wizard's apprentice. So background is sage, and what he learned there is how to read people's minds and use their fears and whatnot to his advantage. He's going to be true neutral, and it'll just be me. So, up first, so he's a sage. He's proficient in arcana and history then. And he will get 2 languages, so plus 2 languages. And he will start with a bottle of black ink, a quill, small knife, a letter from dead colleague with a question that has not yet been answered. That could be fun for role-playing. Some common clothes, and a belt pouch with 10 gold. Alright, so first we're going to do the personality. We already determined that he was a wizard's apprentice. So now I'm going to roll 2d8, and we're going to type out the personality. So 5 and a 2. Let me just move these over. Right there. Alright, so first one is he's willing to listen to every side of an argument before making his own judgment. And the other one is he's read every book in the world's greatest libraries. So this guy is going to probably boast a lot about his intelligence. And now I'm going to do the ideal, the bond, and the flaw. So for his ideal, he thinks that beauty is beauty is his bond. What is what is beautiful points us beyond itself to what is true. Now that's kind of cool, because I was thinking, with dreams and stuff, usually you could say maybe his dreams are some sort of scrying or something, and hopefully he's having good dreams. So it is my duty to protect my students. So he's graduated from this academy, and his flaw is Oh, most people scream when they see a demon. I study its anatomy. So kind of a fool, sticks around and fights for too long. And the the feature you get is a researcher. So I'm going to put that here. I usually like to separate combat on the first page and non-combat on the second. So when he's trying to learn something, he usually has some sort of knowledge. So this will be nice for those knowledge checks. The DM sometimes might keep things secret, and some things might be unearthed secrets. Alright. Sweet. So now I'm going to go to the human and write down their traits. And as I said before, I was thinking about taking the feet instead of the +1 to all stats. So, humans don't get much, I think. So, base speed of 30 feet. Increase ability scores by 1 and 2. And they can also speak common. And 1 extra language. So that's 3 languages. That's pretty nice. And common. Alright. And I think that's it. So, for the feats, I was thinking actually of taking the Warcaster feat. I think that'd be kind of cool, where once they, leave your threat range, since I was thinking Illusionist, maybe all of a sudden just a wall appears, and then it would change the battlefield, kind of. Instead of taking an attack of opportunity, I plan on making this guy pretty weak. But as far as strength, I mean. So, let me find this. Warcaster. Alright, you have practice casting spells in the midst of combat. So, advantage on concentration saves. That would be nice for the illusions. And it can perform the somatic. Yeah, that's not too good, but better than nothing. Somatic components with a weapon and shield. And the last one, which is really what I wanted, is when a hostile provokes an attack of opportunity, you can cast a spell with a cast time of 1 action, and it can only target 1 creature. But illusions, most of them, don't target creatures at all, so that's really nice. So, creatures that provoke attack of opportunity allow you to cast a spell with a 1 action cast time. Alright, sweet. So now I'm going to flip to the wizard, and as I said, he studied magic, so I was going to choose his school illusion. His school will be illusion, and let's see what they get. Alright, so first we should probably plug in the stats. So he's going to be pretty weak, so a 7 in strength. I don't want him getting, he wouldn't be too BP. He would definitely be intelligent, though, so a 15 in there. And I would like to think that he has a strong will, so a 14 in that. 11. And, his dex probably isn't that good either, so a 9 in that, and 11 in charisma. So there we go. And now I get to bump 2 of those up, so I'm definitely going to bump the intelligence up to a 16, and the dex up to a 10, just because he probably wouldn't be, he's not old or anything, so he's not frail. So, +3 and +2 wisdom, a 0 charisma. Alright. So, as I said, we're starting at level 3, so a +2 for proficiency. And For the saving throws, they are proficient in intelligence and wisdom. So let me plug these in. Strength -2, 0. Con will be a 0. Intelligence will be a +5. And wisdom a +4. Charisma a 0. Alright. Now we get to pick 2 skills, and we already have Arcana and History. So I would like to think that he would be good at investigating and probably insight because he's based on people's fears, emotions, stuff like that. So he would try and get a feel and want to know info about people, so that way he could, be a bigger help during the encounters. He's also got 3, so 3 out of 3, and his hit dice is a d6. So I start with 6, and let me roll the other 2. Alright, a 6 and a 1. And he has a 0 con mod, so he'll be at 13 health, which is alright. And his initiative is 0. Okay. I'm gonna go down the equipment list and pick some of those. So he would have a quarterstaff. That's as much as I can fit, I guess. And an arcane focus. Because I do not want, to have to carry around those scraps. And he would have a scholar's pack. Maybe, I don't think he would have, necessarily wanted to go out adventuring, but something, which I'll find out, drew him away from his academy. So, to hit, he gets a 0 bonus, and I'll plug in the damage later. I don't know it off the top of my head. Alright, now let's pick the arcane, or let's plug in this. So, you got Warcaster. Now we're going to do Arcane Recovery, which is a really nice feature. Keeps wizards helpful throughout, a long day of combat. So once per day when you finish a short rest, you can choose to regain expended spell slots equal or combined to half your wizard level, rounded. I believe it's up, yep. So, half. So while that's 2 spell, it could be 2 first level spells or a second level spell. So that's pretty good. And you can only use this once per day. Okay, so once per day. Now let's do the arcane tradition. So as I said, I believe he would probably choose illusion. So he would be an illusion savant, which just means half the gold and time to copy illusion spells. Half the gold and time for illusion spells. And you would also get improved minor illusion, which this will be nice. So you automatically learn the minor illusion cantrip. And if you already know this, you can learn a different one. The minor illusion can create both sound and image with the single, so that is going to be nice. Alright. And that's all we get for our class right now. I mean, we get spells as well. And so yeah, the spellcasting, arcane recovery, arcane tradition. Alright. Sweet. So, I'll do this. So for his name, I was thinking it'd be kind of cool if I do a play on words. So his name would be Lou, and maybe he wouldn't reveal his middle name, but it would be Sid, and then it would be Dreamweaver, like lucid. I think he'd be fairly young, and for his height, maybe a little shorter. I think, staying inside all day would add to that. I'd say he's got a pretty good physique. He's not very strong, so he's very, you know, scrawny, but still. And I don't like doing that. 124 pounds. His eyes would be a green. Skin, pale white, since he's not out very often, and silvery. Nah, I'm gonna change it to white hair. Maybe there was an accident, that went on in the lab. So, the school he studied at was the um, College of Aduba, which will pick a cool little. Oh, never mind. Does not work. Okay, so for the College of Aduba, he studied the art of illusions. Studied art of illusions. His family has gone there, and he studied under the mage of Travis Spellweasel, a halfling. And what he learned how to access the mind of an individual and use it against them. So, and he was also, very studious there. Okay. So, let's see if I can get a picture working, though. So, of course not. Alright, that's okay. So, for his ability, it'll be int. Spell save would be 8 plus proficiency plus the modifier, so I believe 13. Yes, 13. Oops, 13. And to hit would be a +5. And spellcasting class is a wizard, and I'm just going to do this because I like to keep things very, organized. So he gets 3 cantrips. I'm just going to type these out real quick so that way I can just flip to the page. Spell slots. He has 4 of these. Oops. And 2 of these, 4 of these. Alright. Expended 0. Alright. Actually, I'm just going to leave those blank since I'm going to be using some pen and paper. Alright, so now we're going to go through and we're going to type in the ones that would be nice to know. That way, we can prepare them as we go along. And we'll whittle them down after I pick some out, There might be some that, don't fit the theme we're going for. And some might fit perfectly. So for the cantrips, it already said that we learn minor illusion. So I'm just going to throw that one on there. And now we get 3 more. So I believe that prestidigitation would also fit, Maybe all the stuff like cleaning the clothes isn't really happening. It's just an illusion that everyone sees. I think that dancing light, or maybe not dancing lights. Dancing lights, actually, yeah. That seems like a generic wizard thing to have. Very simple to learn, but also very helpful. And lastly, I believe friends would work well, because if he can convince you that he's your friend, he can learn a bit about you, and then later, once you turn hostile, use that against you. So first level spell. Now this is where we get the cool stuff. Alright. So sleep would definitely be one of the things he learns. Sleep. Oh, I guess it doesn't work on that one. Sleep. he would have that because, he could put you to sleep and then put all these illusions around you. After that, it would look you would might think you're still dreaming. So I definitely want that. Silent image sounds sweet. Uh, Illusory script. Oops. That is definitely something he'd have. Disguise self. And let's see. Comprehend languages. So those are the ones I'm going to pick for now, just because those seem good. And I'm not going to mark any down which ones are prepared and which ones aren't because, as I said, I'm going to print this out. So, it'd be annoying if there was a black dot there always. Alright, so let's do the second level spells. So for this one, he would definitely have detect thoughts. That way he could, find your deepest, darkest fears and maybe use those against you. He would probably also have mirror image. That would help, in combat and also just help in general. I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to duplicate yourself? You'd be able to pull tons of pranks on all your mage friends. And I would say he would also have the spell of let's see. I could see gust of wind being really good. Could also see levitate being good. But I think what I'm gonna pick is alter self and darkness, because those seem like, illusory type things. Like it's not actually there, but we can make it work. There's also blur, but I think I like the ones I picked. Yeah, so we'll pick those. Alright, so those are pretty good. And I think everything up here is filled out except for the AC and all that. But they don't have any. So his AC would just be 10, which is kind of weak. But I don't really plan on him getting up close and personal. He'd probably be a little, not cowardish, but stand back, because like I said, he would study a demon rather than scream and run away. So that proves that he's kind of he's not a coward, but he's definitely interested in learning more about things and that type of stuff. The only other thing is the quarterstaff, which I will write down. I believe it does a D8. It does a D6, a D8 of versatile. So D6, which he would probably have two hands on it since he can. So I'm going to do parentheses 1D8, and that does bludgeoning damage. So that works. I'm going to change this to a Q staff. And then I'm going to plug these in. That's going to be a 0, a +2, +5, athletics, that's a -2. That is what will definitely be his downfall. Any type of strength thing, if someone's grappling him, he could still cast stuff, but he might be in trouble for a couple turns. I would think he'd be very good negotiator or out of combat. He has a lot of things. He could detect your thoughts. Maybe you're thinking about your wife, and then all of a sudden, boom, your wife walks through the door. Stuff like that, I think, would be fun. And for his languages, I would say he would probably know all the generic languages. So I'm going to do Elvish, Dwarvish, or Dwarven rather, sorry, and I would think another common one would probably be Halfling, especially since his his instructor was a Halfling. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and share it around, and there'll be more to come. Obviously, it'll be more refined the more I do this, so thank you very much for watching. And if you would like to use Lucid Dreamweaver, the illusory wizard, then by all means, go ahead and hope your games go good, and happy gaming.